Export Exchange International.
Hi folks, Jim Huss and Mr. Grant here at the show, not the showroom, we're not in the showroom, are we, Grant?
No,
We're in the
no.
electronics shop. We'll show you a little bit of the showroom later on, but this is the electronics shop where all the action takes place as far as restoration and getting organs ready for sale. And Mr. Grant here is in large and in charge of all that, and he's going to give you some detailed information about what it takes to get an organ ready for export. Now, Grant, as you know, this one is already sold to our new friend in Norway. Huss is his name, and he is eager to see a progress report now that you've certified these keyboards foam free. So why don't you take over and say what you want to say about what it takes to make this all happen, so when it gets to Norway, it's going to be as close to perfect as humanly possible. As close to perfect as humanly possible. That's what Huss wants to hear.
Well, that's what we've done.
Okay, and make sure we triple check everything.
Yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Take it away,
So,
Grant.
in addition to all... Oh, go ahead.
Let's say it for Grant, ladies and gentlemen.
So in addition to all of the repairs and refurbishment that we normally would do, such as Jim mentioned, taking the foam out, repairing any damaged wires from said foam, we of course go through the entire organ top to bottom. We replace power wires that generally become brittle and cracked from old age. But in addition to all of that, we have to do a few things to make this ready for 220 power systems, 220 volt power. So what we have down here is a step-down transformer that takes power from 220 to 110, so that you can plug that into the wall in Norway or wherever you are in the world that has 220 volt power, and then plug this organ into this transformer. But that's not where it ends. There is also a frequency converter that we install in the organ, which we have up here on the left side, that wires into the power. So as this newly converted 110 power comes in, we convert the frequency of the AC power, which normally for 110 usage is 50 cycles per second, or rather 60 cycles. We convert the 220, which is 60, down to, 220 is 50, down to 60. I'm messing this all up completely.
Let me jump in here. You know what you're talking about, but you're getting a little confused. Okay, we have two elements. And it's good that we're a little confused, because people out there are a little confused too right now. You have two components. You have your voltage and you have your hertz, also called cycles. Hertz and cycles, interchangeable terms. So the voltage, that's kind of obvious. If you're in a country where it's 220, the organ's 110, so you need a step-down transformer. The hertz conversion kit is required because this organ is going to Norway, where they use 50 hertz. Now, if we didn't use that hertz conversion kit, which brings it up to a constant 60 hertz, then this organ would not play in tune. It would be pitched down like a third of an octave or so, right? Mm-hmm. So, okay, continue.
So
that's what you were going to say.
That's what I was going to say.
I know, we all get a little tongue-tied, but we're going to try to do this in one take.
So we have we're packaging this one with a step-down transformer as well as the frequency converter here. But you may also notice we have several other additional features added to this organ, made by a company called Trek 2. There is up here, you can barely see it, a spring reverb unit that we've added in upon the client's request, as well as a string bass unit that's over here. And that operates only using the pedals to give you a string bass sound rather than the typical organ sound.
Grant, I like the way you mounted that string bass unit in there, so that you can still see the serial number.
So, beyond the step-down transformer and the frequency conversion kit, that's all. There's nothing else you need to do to convert to a 220 power system. So, as I said, we added a few extra things here, and we're double and triple checking everything. to make sure this is going to make it overseas without any issues. We tied down everything inside here that I could possibly tie down, as well as inside of the preamp, so we shouldn't have any vibrational issues. But that's about it.
Yeah, and of course the tone generator bolts, it almost goes without saying because, let's face it, you didn't say it. The tone generator bolts, when the organ is being transported, they always need to be secured. And we have like a whole separate video with Brian talking. And not for anything, but it took Brian 6 takes to get that right. So when you see how smooth Brian explains tone generator bolts, he worked on that one whole afternoon. We're doing one take here, Grant. You're doing great. You're doing great. But you have explained some of the accessories that have been added and some of the necessary things that have been added for electrical concerns and reasons. They're not issues, they're reasons. But prior to that, Grant spent quite a bit of time making sure the foam had been removed from these keyboards. And there were a few notes that had to be repaired. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, it was just a few, but now it's working perfectly, which means that every note works on every drawbar. And I was just talking with a lady on the phone who was asking me about why is it so important about this foam, an organ being certified foam-free. Well, if you're having the beginning of damage, it doesn't heal itself. It doesn't go away if there's foam in there. The only potential is that it's going to get worse.
Yes.
So Grant and the rest of his team here in the electronics shop have really, and kudos to you for getting all this smoothly working. He's done a great job with foam removal. And of course, you didn't even mention the fact that you rebuilt the preamp.
Yeah, of course.
And we've got some spare set of tubes that are going to be going with the organ. So if our customer in Norway says someday, "Hey, my percussion stopped working, what do I do?" We'll say, well, you go to the spare tubes that are in your bench or the back of the organ, and you change the last 3, because those are the only tubes that could give you that problem. Yeah. Little things like that, are important for us to educate our customers. And anyone who wants to buy an organ from us, you need to know that we're trying to take a 60-year-old piece of equipment and get it ready for the next 60 years. So we thank you all for your time and attention, and Grant, thanks for your beautiful explanation on what's required to send an organ to a foreign country. You did a beautiful job. I get confused sometimes. Do you have any final comments before we sign off here?
Well, I was going to tell you all about the weather. Apparently, we live in sunny Florida, Sanford, Florida.
That's right, sunny Sanford, Florida.
Which it's returning to sunny Sanford, Florida. Once again, we had a little bit of cold weather last week, but it's gone away and it's back to summertime. So
if people want to visit,
it's a perfect time. Actually, it's not summertime yet. It's more of spring weather.
So we invite you all to come to Keyboard Exchange International, have a little visit. Let us show you what we have in the showroom. This is the electronics shop where all the real action, behind the scenes action takes place, and where Grant is the star of the show. Thanks very much, folks. We'll go ahead and sign off now, but thanks for your time and attention. Thanks for watching our video, and thank you also for helping keep the Hammond Tone Wheel B3 organ alive. We couldn't do all this work that we do here without you. And it would also help greatly if you could subscribe, like, ask for notifications for when we have new videos. That would be a big help for us. So we thank you once again. I'm signing off for now, but we will be back.